Hello everyone, this is Sandra at the Whispering Well. So today's video is going to be a VR to the lovely Candy over at Candy Soul and Soil, who has created the tag Top 10 Curiosity Decks. So these are decks that you might put into your curiosity cabinet if you had one. So I've managed to find 10, a mixture of tarot and oracle. So we'll get started. I've actually got 11, but I'm going to be really quick with the first one because it's going to be an honorary mention because I recently showed it, and that is the Insomnia Tarot. Would definitely have to go into the curiosity cabinet. We'll just have a quick look at some of the cards because this one is definitely something that you might find in a curiosity cabinet, I think anyway. So this is like an honorary mention, so this would actually be my 11th deck. Yeah, so that is the Insomnia Tarot, which is like my honorary mention. And then I have, like I said, 10 others that we'll take a look at. So the first one is the Whispering Tarot by Elizabeth Hazel. This was a limited first edition in 2008, so this is now out of print. It does come, I think, yeah, with a signed card. But this, I just love this little deck. I just think this, because it's small, I could just imagine it as, you know, something you might find in a little corner of an antique shop, maybe in a cabinet in an antique shop. You know, it's just because it's these little cards. You've got all these like almost like air spirits or something, like sort of blowing the air out. You can see there, but and it's dead cute, and you've got mermaids and things even here in the water in the King of Cups. This is the Queen of Cups. I need to mix them up a little bit just to show you some others, but yeah, this one I think would be a definite. I mean, look at that Wheel of Fortune. Definitely going in the curio cabinet. I love it. Look at that Death card. It's so cool. This is one that I've had for a long time. When I first actually started seriously collecting decks as well as using them, obviously. And I've had it a long time, so I couldn't like let it go, and it would go into my curiosity cabinet, that one. So that is the Whispering Tarot. So that's that one. Then we have the Tarot of Crowley. Now Crowley, Aleister Crowley, as everyone knows, you know, has heard of him. I mean, this again would have to go in the curiosity cabinet because it's just, you know, the images on it. You could just imagine picking this up and thinking, wow, where are these images from? Is it almost Victorian, Edwardian, or something like that? Who was this lady? And I know that down here this is an image from the Cottingley Fairies, where the two girls, this is one of them, said they had fairies living at the bottom of their garden and in the woods, and they reckoned it was all faked, but the girls insisted that it wasn't. But you know, I guess we'll never know. I expect it probably was faked, but yeah. So this one, And I mean, Aleister Crowley himself probably belongs in a curiosity cabinet, never mind the cards. So yeah, so that one also would go into my curiosity cabinet. And this is the black and white version, which is no longer in print, but the creator, Christoph James, does have another one that is the same, except it has colour to it, so you can get that if you're interested. Next one is in this bag, so you'll know what it is. This, of course, is the 5 cent tarot, and I thought this, actually, if I can even get it out of the bag. Oh my gosh, I think it's got a little bit knotted, guys. Just 1 second, we'll get there in the end. Okay, so this is the 5 cent tarot. Now, a lot of these will probably be in order, because when I've used them for a bit, I put them back in order, so that will be the reason why. Because if I don't use them for a bit, then I do this with my decks though, put them in order so it's got this green edging, and I chose these backs. So these would go into the curiosity cabinet. You know, this always reminds me of, like, I don't know why, but you know, like old fairgrounds with like weird side shows or something. I don't know why it makes me think of that. Or like when they used to have it's terrible now, but freak shows and things, and these are not freaks, they're like animals, but for some reason it does that, and they kind of give me that kind of old-fashioned vibe to them. There's that like really old-fashioned vibe, I think, and so I think they would fit well into a curiosity cabinet. And I know there are other editions of this in different colours and things like that, but I still love it though. Just looking at it again, I'm thinking, oh yeah, let's get you back out and work with you again. So yeah, so that is the 5 cent tarot, which does come in with different backs, different edges and colours, and I don't know what edition they're on now. This was the first edition, so it's got first edition there. It was a Kickstarter, but I'm pretty sure that the person does have an Etsy shop. So that is the 5 cent tarot, so that's another one. Next up, another tarot deck. This is the Lost Forest Tarot. I think this is the first edition. I think it is. But yeah, this is another kind of odd one. It has these like fantastic images in, and like the 7 of Earth. It's a lot of trees and things in this, but look at those eyes in the trees. I mean, look at this 9 of Earth. I mean, it's like some angelic type fox or something from another dimension. So that's why this would go in the curiosity cabinet. I love this deck too, and the cardstock is so nice. I can't even explain it really. It's just, it's almost feels plastic, but it's, I'm pretty certain it's not, but it's got that kind of feel to it, but without being overly slippy, because this has got like a magical feel to it too, which is another reason it would go in my curiosity cabinet. Look how that really stands out, the white in the tree, the flowers on the tree. So anything magical, I mean, look at this for the lovers, just amazing card. And yeah, I love this. I particularly like look at death. There's a figure there. I particularly like the cups suit, which is oceans in this deck. I mean, look at the blues in this, and you've got these underneath the sea kind of images. So again, for me it's like kind of magical. Just the Lost Forest for me is just a magical deck. And oh, hello, he's nice, isn't he? Yeah, so that is the Lost Forest Tarot. I believe there was a second edition. I don't know if there's further editions. This one I was fortunate enough to get in a trade, on a trade group. So that is the Lost Forest Tarot. Next up is an old deck. This is one of my vintage decks, or retro decks maybe, because it's from the 80s, no, 90s? 93, so it's probably retro. But this one has some strange images, but again, I love it. I couldn't part with it. I mean, look, they almost look alien, these guys and girls and whoever in this deck. And I mean, look at this, and it would go in my curiosity cabinet because of the strange look to the figures in this deck. And also a lot of these figures just remind me of when I was younger, my kind of goth days and my metal bands. I mean, most of you probably know a band called Kiss, so somebody like that, you know, a band like that would remind you like this figure. One of them used to have the black and white makeup and stuff on, so it kind of reminds me of metal bands as well, which I loved, and I do still love some metal bands too. That's never gone away. I've loved it since I was 13. I used to get my mum to go into record shops and get records that I wasn't allowed to buy because I was too young, so she used to go and get them for me. I mean, nothing really terrible with loads of swear words or anything in, but just things like, I don't know, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast and stuff like that, that then they wouldn't let people, you know, youngsters go and buy, so my mum used to go in and get them for me. Here's another one. I love this moon card. So yeah, this is definitely a curiosity cabinet deck. How cool it is. And I was really lucky again to get this on eBay, and even though the box is in like really bad condition, the cards are not. So that was another kind of lucky find. But this is another one where I like it so much that, you know, if another one was to come up at a reasonable price, I'd be tempted to get it as a backup, and normally I don't do that with decks. Okay, so let's go to our last tarot deck, which is in this bag. Love this bag, it came with that. And this is the Gypsy Palace Tarot, which I've had for quite some time as well. And this is a really bright and colourful deck. And it's strange, it's a strange deck, as you'll see. The figures, very red, lots of red and yellows in this deck, but I love that. And I just love it for the oddness of it. And you've also almost got kind of circus vibes with some of the cards. Yeah, it's just odd. I mean, look at that Fool, but I love that Fool card. It's kind of like, I guess, with Patrick Valenza, where it's creepy but cool. And look at this. So this is another one that I might not use it all the time, and well, I don't use it all the time, but I love it though, and could never like let it go. I couldn't let this one go. There's just some decks that we couldn't do that, and I guess that would be another reason for putting certain decks into our curiosity cabinet, because it might be well, I don't use you that much, so you're going to go in my curiosity cabinet because I can't part with you. You know, because this is a strange deck, as you can see. And this is by Nora Husker. I believe this came from Germany. It is signed on the side. I'm not sure if this deck's still in print or not, because I know I've had it quite some time, but it's very cool. I love it. And yeah, and again, it's got that weird magical different universe kind of feel to it, so it's definitely a curiosity cabinet deck. So yeah, that is the Gypsy Palace Tarot. I remember when I first saw this, I'm sure I first saw it on Kellyanne Maddox's channel, and I remember falling in love with it straight away and thinking, oh my god, where can I get that deck? And I did manage to get it, like I say. And what I love is this really cool little bag that comes with it, with the button closure too. And it has got a little guidebook that comes with it as well. Okay, so on to some oracles now.
Bedroom apartment was in their favourite area of San Sebastian. It was on the
sorry
market
about
just
that,
under
guys. I pressed something and the TV came on. Sorry, I don't edit, so just ignore that. Sorry. Okay, as I was saying, oracle decks. So these two, I'm doing these as one, they're in this bag. And these are both by the same artist, or well, creator. And this is like photographic. And what it is the Nocturne Oracle by Rachel Birch. Now she does have an Etsy shop called And the Green Lanes Shimmer, all one word. And she's a disabled lady, and she takes photographs with her iPad and then kind of doctors them or does things to them to make them look a bit different, you know, make them look kind of, I suppose, misty, and makes them kind of look like paintings. Now this Nocturne Oracle was actually a seconds deck, so she wasn't quite happy with the printing of this one, so I got it for kind of half price, but I'm fine with it. So these are all images from Cornwall, and she does include this little paper here that tells you whereabouts all these images are from, which is really cool. But this one is all Cornwall, so they're all places in Cornwall. I mean, look at this, and this speaks to me of magic and witches, and I don't know, like earth spirits and fairies, the fae. This deck does. I mean, especially this. I love this. Look at that card. I mean, if that doesn't scream magic and the fae, and I just love this sometimes, to just pull a card. So some of them are lengthways too. They're not all in portrait. But that is the Nocturne, or some of the cards from the Nocturne Oracle. And I do have another one which I'm going to show you as well, and these would go in my curiosity cabinet because they're photographs that you could imagine kind of coming across and thinking, wow, where are they from? Again, like the curiosity aspect to it. And then I've got her Dartmoor Oracle, which comes in this box. That one didn't have a box, which is why I keep them both in the bag. And this one tells you a little bit about the author as well. And again, you've got all the locations where the cards were photographed. So let's take them out. And also, I didn't show you actually on the other ones, but on the backs, we've got Apple and the meaning that she's given for each. And the Nocturne Oracle is like that on the back. So we just have a few words for each on the back of the Nocturne one. But on the Dartmoor, we have more written on the back. And just look at these. I mean, Dartmoor, again, which is not that far from where my brother lives, in Devon. My brother, that's the sort of second oldest, he's 2 years younger than me. He lives in Devon, and he took me to Dartmoor once. It was so cool. I mean, these images, I love them. And like oak, look how old that oak probably is. And she's got that on the back. But the images in this are so lovely. The photographs that she's taken. And I just think it's lovely as well to kind of, you know, support someone who is disabled or has a disability. But I think these would sit nicely in the curiosity cabinet. I mean, look at these steps. Where do they lead? Where does it go when you go through that gate? Doorway into a tree. Cats. So yeah, so that is the Dartmoor Oracle, also by Rachel Birch, who, as I said, does have an Etsy shop, which is called As the Green Lanes Shimmer. So yeah, so that's those two which just live in the same bag together, because one of them doesn't have a bag or anything, so they just go together. Next one is in this bag, and it came like that. And this one is, I always forget the name of it, and I know there's a card with it on. Yes, here we are. This is the Witchwood Miss Myers Victorian Oracle. So cool. And again, I got this, they used to have an Etsy, but I think now they just have eBay. And there's different cards that tell you the meanings on this, but this is kind of almost Lenormandy, that kind of thing, some more fortune tellery, but just look how Victorian these cards look. So this screams curiosity cabinet, doesn't it? Love the black dog in it. So yeah, I love this. It just really screams curiosity cabinet, and I love the kind of old Victorian style images. Very cool. So yeah, absinthe. So yeah, that is Miss Myers Victorian Oracle. So there's just two more, guys, two more oracles. One of them is the Obsidian Oracle. So this little box, which I believe was a Kickstarter, but this deck was actually gifted to me. So it has got these nice gold gilding. That's the backs. The backs are very cool. As I said, this is the Obsidian Oracle that was a Kickstarter. And again, look. So, definite curiosity cabinet, don't you think? I love it. And you've got crystals mixed in with like animals and plants in this deck. which I think is so cool. Look at that skull and the mushrooms, robins, owls. So perfect curiosity cabinet deck, obsidian ball. So yeah, so that is the Obsidian Oracle, which again, it's a small deck too, so it's like pocket sized, so it's one that you could, you know, just slip into your bag and take with you, because it's not a large deck. So you could even take the cards out of the box and put into a bag if you wanted to. It does come with a little guidebook. And the last deck is the Nature Nurture deck. Comes with a little book. This is even smaller, guys, than the Obsidian one. It's tiny deck. Again, gold gilded on the edges. But look at this. It's just different and small and cute and different images. So that would be my final deck to put in the curiosity cabinet. So yeah, well, I hope you guys liked seeing all of these. Look at this one, Hungry Ghost, Fear. And thank you, Candy, for doing this or creating this really cool tag. It was really fun to do, to choose from my decks which ones I could put into a curiosity cabinet. I mean, there's possibly more, but I think that's probably enough there for now. So altogether that was 11 if you count the honorary mention of the Insomnia Tarot. So yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed watching this and seeing the different decks, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.